Welcome to Pugging with Shintar, episode 19, on a relatively quiet fleet on a Sunday morning, after last time with the run in Maelstrom Prison, which I actually really enjoyed late on a Saturday. I was hoping to repeat that this week, but to be honest, I was too tired last night, so here I am on Sunday morning instead. Before I get started, I wanted to say a little wow and thank you, because this past week my YouTube channel hit 100 subscribers, so thank you everyone who is subscribed and or watching these videos. I'm quite impressed by that number. I know it's not high in the grand scheme of things, but this has just been a bit of a side project compared to my blog, so it does make me happy that there is some interest, even though I have no interest in being YouTube famous. I mean, you just have to look at the comment section of any big YouTuber to be put off that forever. But it's nice that there's some people who really enjoy watching these, so that makes me happy. Now, let's see how many people are awake at this time of day and interested in running hard modes. Or veteran modes. Either is fine with me. Ooh, no instant pop. Well, I guess that shouldn't be a surprise at this time of day, but it's been a while since I didn't have an instant pop. Well, it didn't take very long. Oh, and it's vet. Oh. Okay, well, someone else saved me from having to make a decision on whether to accept or not, because second healer, But interesting that it was a veteran mode, since I have had nothing but master mode pops lately. Here we go, veteran mode. Directive 7! This is good because that's one of the ones for which I have a story quest. On the other hand, it's one where I've frequently seen people quit as soon as they start because they hate it because it's long. So we'll see whether anyone quits or not. Hopefully not.
Got you as close as I could. AA is all over us.
Okay, 2 people have said hello already. It's the third one going to stay with us. Yes, everyone has said hello. This makes me hopeful that everyone's gonna hang around. Now, what sort of group do we have? Level 69 Sage, level 70 Sage, level 70 Commandos. So it's Sages and Commandos, basically. Okay. Now, with Directive 7, the thing is, it's a really long and actually very epic flashpoint. I like it. But it's also another one of those places where people really love to skip as much trash as possible. And I understand it here more than in many other flashpoints because it is so long and so just randomly full of mobs. So yeah, from the way we're approaching this, I guess it's already obvious that we won't be trying for the bonus or anything. But I'm already happy that nobody's quit, because people really seem to hate this place, based on past experience. In fact, the last time I ended up in here randomly was for Master Mode actually, and the moment we zoned in, both the tank and the healer quit. And I ended up two-manning it with the other DPS because I was on my Marauder at the time. Let me tell you, Mentor, the last boss, is pretty hard when you have 2 companions, because he requires some intelligent action. Should I watch the cutscene? Well, I guess today I will play. Wait seconds to skip, because this is story mode, so.
So, you took my warning seriously then. Very encouraging. Your diversion is very impressive as well. There isn't
There we
much
go.
I can do for you until...
That didn't take long at all.
Surely you could do something to thin out the...
I'm a hurry.
Who was the one to say skip? One of the sages. Okay. Here people are trying to run past them up, but they're just aggroing. I don't know, I've always liked this epic feel of Directive 7. I mean, it does have massive amounts of trash, it's very open. But it makes it feel more like a real place.
The fuel monitoring tower nearby should be tall enough to span the gap, if you can knock it over.
So it feels more like a real place because there is a lot of space that is filled with mobs and you don't have to kill them, they're just sort of there. They just happen to be there, they're not just placed in your way. Unfortunately, it's obviously not very popular with other people. What are we doing here? Something here, okay. I wonder if they'll want to do the tent jump. I mean, this bit of trash skipping is not so bad because the area is so open, it's not actually hard to just sort of drive around the edge. But there's this bit coming up soon where people jump around the tops of some tents. I'm gonna pull something, aren't I? Or get stuck in the wall, or both. What the? Okay, I've never done it this bit. Every time I do something like this, I learn new ways of trash skipping because I never pay attention to how people do this because I don't care about trash skipping. But clearly there is a very high art to this. Okay, we appear to have lost someone. Oh, they look like they got stuck in the wall. They did what I just about avoided. Well, I'm glad it's not just me who struggles with this. As usual, in this time we could have easily just killed some of these mobs, but no. It's vital that we just walk around them. Oh. And the other sage just pulled this group alone, and then bubbled. Some of my guildies love doing that when they're on sages. It's quite annoying. Right, here we get to the tents. Yes, yes, looks like they're aiming for us to jump over the tents.
Our true liberation approaches precisely on schedule.
Okay, I managed to do it right. Yeah, it's always fun when someone falls down and then they pull everything here, because obviously there's no other way out up there. Aside from being an epic instance, the story of D7 is also really cool. I'm not surprised they marked it as purple under the new system. I mean, it's not really part of the main storyline, but it's just a really cool standalone story.
You've made it.
If you actually listen to the cutscenes, which these people don't want to.
How do I know you're not just here to trick me, droid?
I will not.
Why would you sacrifice your entire...
Perhaps
I
Looks like you chose the perfect...
I am these
We-
I haven't heard of many droids with names like that.
simply do not waste time resisting.
This boss is also reasonably fun, though not very difficult. You just need to switch between the different bosses because two will always have shields on. I experienced a funny bug here once, where the last boss didn't drop his shield when he was supposed to,
You will not survive.
so he was permanently shielded except for like
Grow tired. You will
1
weaken.
second every 30 seconds when the shield refreshed. So the entire group just stood there,
More.
nuking the boss and waiting for that 1 second to do a little bit of damage. Then the shield came up again, then we nuked him, waiting for that 1 second. It took a very long time. Unfortunately, that was before I had video recording, or I would have recorded it as wow.
So that was the part he could.
How do we stop Mentor?
There is the
If Mentor's intelligence is everywhere...
This
how do you
mask is
destroy
so
one
ugly.
computer?
isn't meant well.
Now this is funny, he's going over there and clicking this thing, even though we're not doing the bonus, and it's way too late to start now. I guess sometimes people can't resist a shiny. Also, someone has DC'd. Well, I hope they come back. Though, at least in this sort of environment here in SWTOR, it's not that big a deal if you lose someone. I mean, first off, you can usually replace them pretty quickly via the group finder, but even if you couldn't, one companion can fill in quite easily. As I said, I even did this two-man this with one person once, basically two people and two companions. That was a bit more challenging because of an intelligence requirement on the last boss. Oh, of course we can't proceed while the seed person is sitting around. I mean, I can click this, but it doesn't do anything. Question is this, whether they will demand now to kick this person, or if they will be willing to wait. It hasn't been very long. My personal attitude to DCs is to wait, I don't know, 5 minutes. If their internet just had a hiccup or something, and they'll be right back. But of course it's a bit more annoying if you're at a door like this and can't proceed without the person. Yeah, I guess people are getting tired of waiting. Oh, this person is a Law Griffo. There's the vote kick. Fine. Well, I didn't even get to vote. The other two were so quick about it. It resolved itself before I could click. I always hate kicking people, even if like it's a valid reason, like they disconnected.
How did you get here?
Not you've said.
I'm right here, Mentor.
Pointless, you're not.
Basically, vote kicking, that always takes me back to my World of Warcraft days, where that was a really big thing, because there were a lot of people abusing the vote kick system there, at the start anyway. I don't know what it's like now, but I'm just talking about when they first introduced the group finder. And I always heard complaints from people like, oh, I can't vote kick anyone because it keeps preventing me. So I didn't want to kick people because I also knew it might then later prevent me from kicking someone else. And our Sage Ding level 70. Guts. Though I was actually never hit with any of those penalties. Like I always heard these stories in WoW about how the vote kick was extremely restricted and you couldn't do this and that. And then I was in a run once with some really annoying people, and I managed to kick 2 people right after each other without any kind of restriction. So I think you only got restricted if you vote kicked a lot, which I didn't do. Yeah, I also don't like doing it in here because I don't even know if BioWare tracks things like how many times you vote kick people. Probably not, but I still feel like there's an invisible hand in the sky watching me or something.
I'm here.
Oh, I was just gonna summon a companion since we're just 3 of us, but replacement joined, Sentinel. I wonder where he's coming in. Oh yeah, I was still on the subject of vote kicking. In WoW, it's actually so easy. I had this time. There was this time I vote kicked someone by accident. I remember I was in an instance and I tried to like right click and inspect, and somehow I accidentally selected vote to kick, and there's no extra confirmation or anything. And the worst thing was the other people in the group just all hit yes, even though it was totally random and there was no reason for it. So this guy was just randomly kicked from the group, and I was like, oh my god, I just went to inspect him. I actually felt so bad that I made a character on his server afterwards, just to send him a mail saying I'm so sorry for this accidental vote kick. So yeah, I'm glad Swota makes it a bit harder. You have to actually enter the reason. I read somewhere that in WoW they don't make you enter a reason because they originally wanted that, but it makes people feel bad to be given a reason, so that's why you're not supposed to, but I don't know. I'm talking too much about WoW, but it's been very influential on me, especially when it comes to the group finder, because like I grew up with original WoW, where there was no group finder, where every time you wanted to do an instance, you had to manually put the group together in chat, and it was World of Warcraft that pioneered the automatic group finder that is now sort of expected in every game almost. So that's sort of where all my early impressions of group finding were formed. And I really disliked it for a while, but I've been positively surprised by Swota because it's never been... The groups have never been as bad as anything I experienced in WoW, so maybe it's not just about how the group is put together, automatically versus by hand, but also what sort of environment the game encourages otherwise. Because Swota's community is not as massive as WoW's, and even though you get the skip and rush people here too, I think on the whole it encourages you to be a bit, take things a bit more slowly, So people are probably on average a bit more patient and tolerant of their fellow puggers. I thought this boss was so cool the first time I did it, but I find it disappointing that the clones it makes don't actually look anything like the person they're cloning. I guess it would have been too hard, but still. Remember WoW, again, had this boss that used to make clones of you. What was it? I don't remember what it was called. Some elephant thing. Elephant tentacle monster in Ankh? No, not... Azul Nerup, that's what it was called. Well, not the first instance, the second instance was called Anchorhead or something? Yes, that's it. And the last boss there made copies of you, and that was always very funny when you had to kill your fellow group members. Unfortunately, you don't get quite the same experience here. Plus, at launch, this boss had a wonderful bug that only seemed to affect commandos and mercenaries, I think. Which was that once it targeted you for making clones, it wouldn't stop. So it didn't just make one clone, it made one clone, then another. So basically, if you had a commando in the group, you couldn't do it unless you were lucky with the selection, because you would basically get overwhelmed by commando clones. It's not like you can nuke the boss quickly because he puts up a shield when he summons clones. So that was annoying to be stopped here by that bug. So yeah, this flashpoint clearly makes me nostalgic, both about group finding in general and about early days of SWTOR.
Beloved comrades, I must regrettably confirm that a general security alert is now in effect. Advanced defensive protocols have been enacted to bring a rapid resolution.
Someone pull them up. Of course I have to go back and loot it. Cannot resist the blue beam. Was just telling my guildies off yesterday because so many of them didn't loot their stuff in Ops. That drives me crazy. Don't leave the loot on the floor! Even if it's just 40 credits. At least the trash skipping in this part is more straightforward. Oh, this boss, I also have fond memories of this boss. Though they're actually not necessarily about my own run. But I remember in the very early days of the game, I was sitting in voice chat with some guildies who were running this. And it was just absolutely hilarious to me. There are these buttons on the side, shield generators, that shield the boss. Okay, this guy just died. Probably because we weren't quick enough with taking down the shield generators. But I have combat res. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, you have to press these buttons or destroy these shield generators or whatever. And little droids come out, like now, to repair them. And ideally, you destroy them before they can repair anything. But if you don't, they repair the thing and you have to destroy it again. And I just remember listening to my guildies yell at one of them over and over again, press the button, press the button. And because he didn't quite do it right. I think he understood what he was supposed to be doing. But to be honest, it can be a bit tricky, because sometimes, depending on where you stand, you might accidentally target the boss instead of the thing. But it became a running gag in my guild at the time. Press the button. Why are people taking so much damage at times? I think there's some ability that was supposed to interrupt that they're not interrupting. Yeah, bulwark burst. Nobody's interrupting it, that's why people are getting nuked. Just click the console, I guess. Yeah, in hard mode that wouldn't fly, just letting all those casts go through. Because they hurt. I don't know why I, as the healer, won't get killing duty anyway. I know this sage is killing the other one, but... I'd rather get it done than complain about the people not getting it done. Especially since just a weak mob and I can kill it easily.
No. Organics have reached the central processor core. All units not assigned to level 7 critical tasks must immediately report for security assignment.
We're getting very close now. Mentor will turn everything he has against you. Be ready.
Now this boss. We already see people asking if we want to skip it. Okay. It's gonna be a supercharged gun here, so pressing the thing. Yes, these ads should die first because they hit hard. They should be interrupted, which we already established this group is not very good at. But now they're down, so far so good. Now we can nuke the boss himself. Oh, they actually interrupted his heal. Ooh. I don't know why I'm tanking. I guess they just aren't doing very much damage and my healing out aggro's everything else. Nope, now he's changed to the commando. who is called Grogon, but whose name I keep reading as Gogon.
You should be aware that Mentor is intricately tied to the facility's geothermal power cores deep beneath this moon's surface.
Now here, I think it's here. Here's some trash that you can skip. Oh yeah, because they keep running up, and if you're quick on your mounts, you can drive past them while they're still running. But that's always arsey to do in a group, because you really need to be on top of each other. If anyone lags behind, they will pull them. So I'm glad to see that they didn't even try and just shot these. Here's another one of those, right? Yeah. You see them running, you can be like, oh, I just ignore you. Oh, we managed it with these.
Without Mentor to manage their energy fluctuations, irreparable damage to the moon's
And here we are
is likely.
at Mentor.
Be prepared to make a quick evacuation when the time
He's a really
comes.
cool fight, but I remember, especially early in the game, I found him very hard because there's a lot of movement, and the large commandos didn't have much they could cast while moving. Because even made shot
Your revolution will
could
never
only
end.
be cast on other people, so you couldn't heal yourself with it. And otherwise you only had these probes. It was really hard. Now it's not so bad, because at least, well, Medshot is more versatile. I'm gonna interrupt that. No, too late. Anyway, what also makes this hard when doing it with companions is that you have things like these claws that have to be avoided, and obviously companions aren't clever enough for that. Being nuked by the stupid turret. Processor core 1 has overheated over here. Need to blow up this thing. Nobody else is running with it, or one other person.
Cannot be stopped.
Here I'm glad for the culture stations, because everyone is taking damage and people are very spread out. Also, I'm tanking stuff again. This is problematic. Get my cooldown. Otherwise I'm probably gonna die. Can nobody get any aggro on that thing?
The revolution cannot be stopped. The revolution cannot be stopped.
Claw on me and trying to blow stuff up and tanking mobs. All a bit much. Also, I appear to have lost my... No, not lost my salt cannon, but it's gone on my back. Oh my god, I'm being shot by everything. Need another culture station, I guess. It's like... people have even started healing me.
Cannot be stopped. Do not waste time resisting. The revolution cannot be stopped.
Okay, last one is over here. Last processing core. Yeah, and obviously the first time we did this fight we had no idea what we were supposed to do with the destroying these processing cores. So it took a bit for us to get that.
I lead the way for all your time.
And now for the boss. Yes, you also have to realize that after you cannot shoot him for the entire fight, you can suddenly start targeting him at this point. Which is, again, not super obvious. Let's click one of these again. It's a very manic fight for sure. Running from the claw. Title deprogrammer. Yay!
Done it! You've really done it!
I've done it, yes!
As I feared, the geothermal power cores are destabilizing rapidly. The facility will be incinerated in a matter of minutes.
Yes, my cannon has somehow gone from my hands to being on my back, even while I'm using abilities. Love these little graphical glitches. Apparently I can scavenge mentor. Might as well. But I guess I'll exit area to instance exit so I can hand in Violent Uprising.
You've saved more lives than anyone will ever know. The people of the Republic, of the entire galaxy, are alive today because of you.
Havoc Squad is always happy to serve, Director.
And serve you have. I won't forget it. We also owe you a great debt of thanks. C5M3, was it? Without you, we would never have had a chance. I would be proud to offer you an assignment here in the Republic fleet as soon as you've had some standard maintenance checks.
Assignment? Nonsense. I belong to no one. I will leave and go where I please.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure that I can allow that. You have the same programming as the other renegades, and letting you roam free would be extremely dangerous.
I have never ever managed to make the dark side decision on this one. Because it's just too cruel. This guy just helped you save the galaxy and you're like, well, you go back to being a slave now. It's just too horrible.
C5 is no threat to us, Director. He's earned the right to do as he wishes.
What's in this exciting loot box? Well, it's geared better than what I have at the moment, so I'll put it on, I guess. Oh, it's so close to leveling up. Oh well, can't have it all. Oh, I got my raid buff. That's nice. Well, that was a nice enough run, even though we skipped all the trash as usual. And I'm another level closer to the level cap. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon.